Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about whether you should have pet insurance. So let's jump right into it. So a question that seems to be a continually growing concern for people is protecting their pets. Now, in recent years, pets have become more and more a part of the family as people have swooned over gourmet pet food, premium toys, and in some cases, even outfits for their pets. Now, this is not meant to be a mockery of a seemingly newfound love for pets. I love pets and I love animals, but the rise of the emotional support animals, the goat yoga, and pets with their own TikTok and YouTube channels, as well as their own Instagram handle, have all further contributed to the pet industry exploding. Now, according to the American Pet Products Association, it is estimated that we will spend $109.6 billion on our pets this year alone. So whether you have an emotional support animal, some farm animals, or simply a household pet or two, otherwise, pet insurance is becoming a greater and greater concern for many people as the cost for caring for your animal continues to climb. So this cost of healthcare for us as humans seems to increase every single year. But what is oftentimes overlooked is the need to have policies in place to cover the costs of your livestock or your household pets. Beyond just the cost of insurance, you will have pet food, you have treats, you have supplies, you have medicine that's not covered by insurance, as well as other pet products and services that will need to be factored into your budget accordingly. And these things can oftentimes go unnoticed, and you don't realize how much of a part of your budget actually is encompassed in taking care of your pets. Now, that's why these costs should be a line item in your budget or your plan to spend at a minimum. But in order to be more proactive over the potential costs associated to your pet, you may consider picking up a pet insurance policy. Now, this, for some, may be laughable because they've never had any large expenses associated to their pet. Now, I'm a huge proponent of having a pet. I grew up having Labrador retrievers since I was born. Now, I'm a bit biased when it comes to labs, as they are incredibly loyal. They're typically great for families and can be even tempered if trained properly. Now, along the way, we picked up a fox red lab puppy and named him Chase. Now, Chase was the right blend of being determined yet family friendly, having a great temperament. Now, Chase lived for 11 years, far too short, but pretty normal for a lab. And unfortunately, throughout those 11 years, he had a lot of health issues from the get-go all the way through his life. And even though he came from a renowned breeder, he had papers, he had his shots and the like accordingly, he still faced so many different challenges. Now, he was delivered to us from the kennel with something called Giardia, which is a form of a parasite that required medication for quite some time. Now, this took what seemed like months for him to get over and caused him to be a bit more lethargic and less energetic than would be characteristic of a rambunctious little lab otherwise, and how they would normally behave. Now, he shortly thereafter experienced an infection due to getting stuck with some cacti, which caused his mouth to swell and his gums to bleed, and it took some time for him to heal up from that. But his most notable event was when he was outside with my brothers on a summer afternoon in Colorado, when a truck struck him and ran over his right side. And fortunately, no one was injured with the driver's carelessness, but this began a long process of surgeries and rehab for Chase. Now, this included ongoing casts that he had to have on his legs. As he healed, he basically had to have multiple surgeries and rods implanted to ensure that his ligaments and his appendages stayed in place. Now, he had to go through having water therapy amongst a number of other aspects to fully rehab him based on this injury. Now, if that wasn't painful enough for him to go through that event, a few years after this, he was bit by another dog, which required another run to the emergency vet. Now, this actually revealed that he had been dealing with lymphoma, which was later determined to be some other type of cancer. But this led, unfortunately, to him passing away sometime thereafter. Now, this experience is not meant to be explained to be a woe is me kind of a story, but meant to be more of a cautionary story explaining the importance of having pet insurance. So if you're at all like us, Chase had become a part of the family, and we felt a duty and an obligation to care for him well. And although we know that he lived a long life, it did not come without a great deal of cost. And those various incidents could have been mitigated in regards to the cost, due to having an insurance policy. Now, this process convinced me of one thing, that the importance of having a pet insurance policy to cover unexpected illnesses, surgeries, medications, and the like is so important. These individual visits to the vet added up to a sizable cost over his lifetime. And although we loved our dog, it was a challenging process that could have been somewhat mitigated by that insurance policy. Now, there are a lot of different products out there, but finding one that has an affordable deductible as well as a maximum out-of-pocket expense can really save a significant amount of money and heartache as you care for what may closely resemble a family member. Now, according to the ACCA, which I referred to earlier in this episode, the estimated amount we spend each year on pet veterinarian bills and products associated to that is a whopping $32.3 billion. So this should be motivation enough to explore options for your pets and include the cost in your budget or your plan to spend. Now, my call to action today is to go through the process of budgeting for your pet. If, of course, you have a pet, make sure that you are not leaving yourself or your family susceptible to additional costs just because of not having enough insurance or not having insurance on your pet. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.